Alright, so we're back for another PFA battle as we're up against Derek or Pokeboy. So right now, I think we're like 3-1 in this league at the moment, and like we did make some significant changes. I think we added a Silvally over I think Volcanion. I mean, there's a lot of changes I made, but like I know I added Silvally like I think around 3-3. I did add. Oh yeah, and also Nidoking as well. Like I had enough points to get a Nidoking, so I decided to use it for this battle as well. And other than that, like most of the team is like at this point was like it was still like the same. Like there's like gonna be like another set of like changes I'll make like down the line, but we'll get to that when we get there. Like but for now, we are up against Pokeboy or Derek. And to be honest, this matchup was kind of weird because it just came down to like um just dealing with certain threats. Like Toxapex was like probably the big threat of his team. Thankfully, he didn't bring it. Like from just a defensive side, it would have been annoying to deal with it. Um, as well as like well everything else I just kind of expected, but you know um well in this team, he has Cresselia, Primarina, Electros, Alolan Marowak, Kirimbi, and Scizor. One thing I kind of like last minute, I was kind of like realizing that he could bring was like possible Trick Room offense, but even then, like he has to try to pivot into the right Pokemon, which he does have, which Scizor and Electros, but you know we have our own pivot this week, kind of counterbalance this. So well, we have two, so or three, depending if or not you count certain Pokemon, you know, bulky pivots and whatnot. But alright, I was just getting ahead of myself. So we have Choice Band Tapu Koko, which is pretty with Brave Bird, Wild Charge, which honestly Brave Bird alone just two shots everything, and Wild Charge just deals with the rest. You know, I don't want to deal with alone Marowak. So we have SD Mega Gallade because after an SD boost, we should be able to just pierce his team. We have a flamethrower, Nidoqueen with rocks and a toxic, and I believe it has Ice Beam or Sludge Bomb. It's been a while since I battled this guy as well. I have a Cleric, Florges, Self Protective Suicune with Calm Mind, and Silvally with a little bit of a tech option. Well, as with the usual like defog, parting shot, like I believe flamethrower. So a little special move we have. So right off the bat, I'm thinking to myself, um, who should I lead? And to be honest, I'm thinking like either Coco or like Nidoqueen, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'll just go for my with my Electric Mon because like I'm able to pivot out to almost everything, and if he does leave a Kyurem, I'll just go hard Suicune or Florges, just because you know like I don't want to deal with that. But like you know Scarf Kyurem, and Scarf Kyurem isn't as bad, so we go into Coco and he goes to Marowak, and I'm like, all right, this is fine because I could go for U-turn and just either get into better position or you know switch into like whatever mon I feel like. So here I go for U-turn, do 7%, and I go to Rue the Nidoqueen as he goes set up the Stealth Rocks, and he switches out, goes into Cresselia, and as I go for my own rocks. So so far we just started setting up rocks, so fine. Here he starts calm minding up as I just go for a raw toxic, like not even thinking about whether he just goes for a psychic. And to be honest, I just want to get damage or like constant damage on him. His Cresselia, so at least like knowing he just can't like abuse this. We do have Silvally the parting shot the boost away, and if anything, Suicune could beat Cresselia because of you know the sub protect combination. So yeah, I'm gonna get the hell out of here and I go to Whiskey the Silvally, as Ice Shock doesn't even touch me at all. So as you can see, and here I just go for parting shot, or actually no, I actually go for heal block here because I actually thought that you would stay in. And yes, this is actually my tech option for Cresselia, which is heal block. Which actually, if you think about it, it helps me versus like Rest Cresselia and Scizor because and Cure MB. So this helps me just pretty much ensure that those Pokemon don't get like recovery. So especially like with leftovers and whatnot. So yeah, um, this is a very nice option to have just to ensure that these things don't recover. So um, here I'm just gonna go for the party shot, and I'm just gonna lower their offensive stats just to ensure that they aren't as problematic. So he goes for Dragon Claw, and I'm like, okay, I'm expecting at this point he's like, earlier in the chat he was like, he did say that he expected Garchomp. I didn't bring it for this reason because like I didn't want to deal with Kyurem and Scizor, like Cresselia. So and Chomp kind of had a weird matchup here, whereas Nidoqueen just kind of loves this one. So I kind of like Nidoqueen here. So here I'm just gonna go for Toxic as he's not gonna be able to do enough at all to me. So here I'm just gonna go for Flamethrower in case he wants to go to Scizor, but he just goes for the Dragon Claw again. I guess he just wants to get as much chip damage as possible, but now I just go for Florges as he goes for the Primarina. And I'm okay with this because Florges is very semi-Spadef. Well, I think it's like, it's a Spadef nature, but with like max defense, so, at least I could take on Primarina this time. So, of course he goes for the Moonblast, and I go for a Wish, as I go back for Moonblast and Retaliatory. Hit as he goes for a Scald. I give it back up for recovery, and I get some chip damage onto the Primarina. Here I go for Wish, and thankfully I'm able to recover back with my Nidoqueen. He goes for Defog here because obviously the hazards are going like, are kind of bad for him at this point. But getting a Nidoqueen, not only like getting my rocks the next turn, but also dreading the Scizor is pretty nice, as well as getting some recovery from the Florges. So here he goes to low and whack, and I go for rocks. And at this point, I'm like, okay, like he has to make a choice here. Like if he's fast Marowak like Jolly, he could outspeed me. But the thing is, I rather trade Nidoqueen for like Marowak just to get any chip damage on it, because of course Marowak is gonna get like worn down over time. So here I'm just gonna go for Earth Power as I do outspeed, and thankfully he doesn't go for Flare Blitz. We're able to knock this thing out, and he goes for Earthquake, so now he can't set up rocks again. So he's gonna go to Cresselia. However, I have a switch in to this with the Silvally, and Silvally just takes that like a champ. And to be honest, this doesn't matter. So he finally reveals it's either Hidden Power Fire or on Cresselia, very likely. And I go for Florges. Here I just go for the Wish. I believe I go for Wish here just to recover up one of my Pokemon. In this case, it's Silvally. So this thing is not even doing anything to me at all. I'm just easily recovering, and he's already has like a -1 special attack drop. So at this point in the game, it's pretty I guess you could say it's I don't know. I don't want to say it, but at this point, I have a lot of positioning, a lot of commanding. Like I have a commanding position at this point because I've worn down these. I've worn down Cress and Primarina, while at the same, and also Electro. So at the same time, these Pokemon are just getting like -1 in their attacks, like respective attack stats, and I'm like, this is like still like good for me. So he goes for Bullet Punch as I kind of anticipate this, and I just get recovery for my berry, and I just go for Flamethrower, and I just knock out the Pokemon. Or Scizor. So, and at this point, it is, oh, I skipped through. So, my apologies there. So, he goes to Kira right after this. So, at this point, in the game, I kind of know how I could win this game, like trying to preserve differential. So that's not a way of saying like I pretty much 6-0 the guy. So at this point the game is just I'll drag it out because like at this point it's just me switching around and just switching up Pokemon, but just you know like pretty much breaking down this team some more. It's not as interesting as compared to other games, but like, sometimes like there's gonna be like matches that where I just like sort of outplay my opponent just from a team building perspective. So I mean like they're wrong. I think Derek brought the right team composition, but at the same time, none of his bonds were like able to like break any like defensive walls or had like stuff like Super Fang knockoff and what have you say. So I mean at this point, like as you can see, he's going for like a last ditch like out mine, but even then I know that this is like this is kind of bad for him because all I have to do is to go for Silvally, and he goes for the attack here. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I could just go for heal block, as he goes for Moonlight, knowing that I'm about to do this. So, and at this point, I could just go for Parting Shot, and yeah, or I just go for Flamethrower, because at this point, I think I just let like so like I just let the game just play out itself. So I go to Suicune, even though he has a Kyurem, just because I want to see whether this thing is like voice scarfed or whatever. I mean, even if this thing is thing isn't choice scarf, I still have Gallade and I still have like Silvally just to break through. But if this thing is Life Orb on his Kyurem, I could just at least switch out the Silvally, sack that thing, and then like go to Gallade and just end it right there. So here he goes for Ice Beam, and I say just go for the Scald. So he would have just used Fusion Blows if he had it. So at this point, he doesn't have Life Orb. He doesn't have any of that. So it does look like it is scarfed. So yeah, we're just like this. This is sort of like a slow ending to the game. But to be honest, I just rather just like try to like win, like knowing that I'll win. And I just wanted to get Suicune like some kills during this week because I know Suicune hasn't gotten any kills at all. So yeah, so that's gonna be a game. So GG to Derek or Pokeboy, as we improve for a 4-1 record. So like I said, like I think during this time I kind of wanted to go for differential because I kind of wanted to go for the 6-0 because I just felt that like I like just more so playoff positioning, and I wanted to get like the first seed, and this was probably like the best time I could do it, like knowing like mid battle I could like probably like get the the points I need, or that could help me like get a better positioning, or just get a higher position later on, because I did lose to Drub like like -4 or like 4-0, so even though that game could have been like a little bit like I maybe could have got a Pokemon or two, but it is what it is. And like all my other games have been pretty much very closer than they should be, so and yeah, like they haven't been as, I don't want to say dominant, but I've been playing very like much more, like I haven't been playing more like discreetly as I should be, so but I think I think this week I think the MVP was probably Silvally. I think just pretty much shut down most of like his team, like with the fact that it had like Parting Shot and whatnot. So Parting Shot plus Heal Block, which is just like that alone just shut down his team. So well, I did think that he brought the right team comp, or like the right 6 Pokemon, or like 5 at least. But at the same time, I don't think he would have been able to like with the team with the sets he brought. I don't think he would have like been able to break the team I had. So, but anyways, that's all I have for this week. So, next week or next battle, we'll be up against Carly, and to be honest, that team's terrifying, and we'll see how we deal with that. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to leave any responses, whatever, likes, comments, whatever, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.